Good evening. Welcome to the March 4th Personnel Board meeting. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by Foxborough Cable Access. So we have the agenda for tonight. Review and approve the minutes from the prior meeting. We'll look at the seasonal pay plan for 25 and 26, and then discuss updates to the workplace violence prevention and weapons-free workplace policy. So we can start with the minutes. Do we have the minutes from the prior meeting?
Yep, I sent them in our email from
That was a couple.
Friday.
That was earlier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any? I think that,
Edits?
is this the copy here too?
No, this is
That's the
the,
workplace.
Violence.
Yep.
Oh, that's the
Does-
edited one. Did you have any
I
comments
don't
on the
have
minutes?
any comments.
Were you here on that, for that meeting?
I think I was for
Okay.
the, I mean, because it was a while ago.
Yes.
like
That was a year ago.
2024.
yeah.
April of
Were you here for
2024.
that meeting?
I'm not sure if I was here for that meeting.
I think you were.
I do believe so, but we are only 3 people total in the board now.
Yep.
So it would be just majority.
Okay.
Be simple.
Well, I have no
Okay.
comments, so anyone make a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting, April 24th of 2020.
I will second that.
All right, all in favor?
I,
All right, any opposed? No. All right, so now we can move on to the pay plan.
Yeah.
And I saw there was just an update passed around.
thank you. Perfect, yep.
Is it $15 an hour is mass? What is our, what is minimum wage in mass?
1425, I believe.
14.25? Okay.
Okay,
Really small.
and I don't know if anyone wants to address, I saw the recent update to the 25, right? Yeah. to the-
Yes. Yeah, so for, I think I know all of you, but just for people at home, my name is Mark Craig. I'm the Director of Human Services. I oversee the Human Services Department, which is comprised of the Council on Aging, Human Services, Recreation, and Veteran Services. So I'm here tonight to talk about proposed seasonal pay plan for recreation employees for summer staff, as well double hitting for DPW seasonal labor. Talked to Chris this afternoon, figured might as well, summer's coming up. We're working on our summer budgets. Let's get things all done at once. So I have presented to this board in the past 2 years ago to try and get a pay plan that was actually reasonable. We build our entire summer budget off of this. With all of our camp counselors is something that's really important for us. So we also want to make sure it's a livable wage for individuals, and we want to be competitive in the market. We don't want to lose people to working at McDonald's or D'Angelo's. We want to make sure we have good high school, college-age kids that want to come and work for us for the town of Foxborough at the Booth Summer Program and at Mill Street at the pool. So if you have any questions, I can go over them, but if you look, we have the FY25 plan and then the 26, 27 plans, just so that way we don't have to do this every single year. So the 26 plan is actually, we took step 2 of the 25 plan, put it as step 1 for 26, and then from there went 3% each year. Basically, if we didn't do that, we'd have step 4 being lower than step 4 this current year. So we had to sort of even that out. And then moving ahead to FY27, we did 2% moving forward, so that we have some sort of uniformity, and we continue 2%, hopefully every 2 years moving forward after that. The only kind of anomaly there, you'll see we have specialized instructor at that 25-30, 35-40. That's a system that we have it's a little bit being phased out. We have our instructors for the recreation department. We're moving a lot of our instructors over to a subcontractor model rather than just paying an arbitrary amount. We do have some legacy instructors that we still pay that certain way.
Like when there's like a class that the
Yes,
rec
yeah,
department
yep.
offers? Okay.
Yeah, so newer instructors are all paid on a subcontractor basis, and they invoice us, but the legacy instructors are paid as employees.
Okay.
And we want to honor that agreement that was made many years ago with them. And then if you look on there, we have the DPW seasonal labor. That is used to help the DPW department out, especially in the summer when they have a lot of extra maintenance work on the fields. So they use that extra help for them.
When does the season start and when does it end?
Yeah, so, good question. This isn't on the pages in front of you, but, so, even though it says FY 26 and 27, obviously summer starts before then. And so Mike and I were kind of batting back and forth of like, how do we make this easy? We have 14, 15-year-old kids working. We don't want to, here's your pay rate, and oh, your pay rate's going to change on July 1st. They don't need to understand fiscal years. So that way we can actually have this start the week before. We have the first week of summer is in FY25 technically, but it makes it a lot easier. We're not submitting double PAFs. We're not trying to explain to a 15-year-old kid why they're being paid a different amount each week. They'll think it's going to be more on week 3. They're just going to keep thinking they get more money each week. So we have it starting FY26 rates starting in FY25 just to keep things easy.
So the 26 amounts here will start this coming
Yeah, we'll
summer.
start June 24th is I think the first day of summer.
Yeah, like in the language that would be included in the accompanying pay plans, would read FY26 rates shall be applicable to any recreational employee who performs work in calendar year 2025. And then the same language in FY27 as well. FY27 rates shall be applicable to any recreational employee who performs work in calendar year 2026.
Perfect.
To cover that exact situation.
Is that what you're saying? I mean, this is what
Yeah,
we do, is that what you're saying?
I'm seeing 2 to 3%. Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm
it's not-
asking Scott, it's kind of what you do, right?
Yeah,
In the industry world.
yeah. And I remember from when we went through this last time, it's very like minimal cost for the town.
Yeah, it is. So the recreation employees are actually paid for under the Recreation Revolving Fund. So we do, Kristen, who's the new recreation director, we sat for several hours just building the entire summer budget. It's then approved by the Recreation Board. When I build that budget, I actually build everyone off of step 4 for every position. Obviously, they're not all at step 4, most of them are at step 1, but I don't want it to be that we do that the other way. I'm going to be much more conservative when it comes to budget estimates. So everyone's at step 4, so then we have a happy surprise at the end of the summer when we have some employees making step 1.
Okay. I mean, I'm okay with this. Do you guys have any other questions?
No further questions.
You don't need any approval or anything for this, right? Any like formal approval? This is just for like advisory?
We should make a vote,
Okay.
please.
Motion to approve, anyone?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the step increases for FY 26 and 27 as noted on the submission from Mark Craig.
Although it does feel a little bit, I second, I second. Second, sorry. It will be interesting to say, I make $15.97 an hour. But I get, we're talking about amounts that need to be precise, so. But yeah.
Okay, so all in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, none opposed. So the next item is the policy update.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the board, for folks at home, I'm Mike Mullen, the town's new HR director. Great to be here. Have had a great first 3.5 weeks into Foxborough and look forward to everything in the future as well. But I just want to I just actually wanted to bring a proposed updated policy to the board's attention for consideration. Right now, we have a workplace violence policy. And what we're proposing, is that what we're proposing is actually restructuring the town's workplace violence policy into a workplace violence prevention and weapons-free workplace policy. In this change, is being brought forward. This change is being brought forward to make sure the town is in compliance with actually Chapter 124 of the Acts of 2024 and based on the recommendation of the town's Labor Council, Clifford and Kenny. What Chapter 124 does is it includes updates to the state law regarding the possession of firearms in designated prohibited areas in the Commonwealth. And the law defines a prohibited area as any location owned, leased, or controlled by any any county or state or municipal government used for the purpose of government administration, judicial proceedings or correctional services. And these obviously would include include the buildings, the grounds, and parking areas associated with these facilities. In the updated law, Chapter 124 also includes penalties for possessing firearms in these areas. It's extremely important to note that the provisions of Chapter 124 do not apply to qualified law enforcement officers or qualified retired law enforcement officers or even like security guards that if any were employed by the town for for providing security services for any municipal purposes, which we don't have, but like the law definitely has a carve out. I've already worked with Chief Grace, to make sure he doesn't have any issues with this, and to make sure everything we're doing, just in terms of our employment policies, reconciles with his goals and in direction forward as well. There are some provisions of this updated policy, especially regarding to searches, that we are proposing to make in line with the current process for any searches we would already do for employees. And that process, as it already exists, is already defined in the personnel, is already included in the personnel guide. So we would use that, as really a template for the process that would be included for firearms. So we're not creating a separate process. We're trying to make sure that the uniformity that we already have in the guide really exists and actually exists throughout the other applicable sections of the guide as well. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, and I know in the past we've had like a legal counsel help draft these policies. Did you guys use?
Yes, actually, yes. This actually updated policy was actually drafted by Labor Council. And it is actually coming at their recommendation. Upon actually going through, we saw the area for searches. Just as an example, really wanted to make sure, especially with regards to that provision, it fits within what we already recognize as a recognized structure to carry out any searches. And that's where we really work to make it really fit Foxborough.
So, to be clear, this is more aimed at restricting town employees from having any firearms on their person at work.
Yes,
that
sir.
They're not authorized to do so.
Yes, so we're only covering the Foxborough employee piece of it.
Got it.
That's what we're proposing to do here, specifically in the confines of the town's personnel policy.
Okay.
There are other outlets that are obviously just as an example with regards to boards and committees that we would have to go through another similar process to update that policy as well.
Okay.
But with regards to employees, this is real. This realm begins with the personnel board, and that's why we're here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
But the workplace prevention, workplace violence prevention does say it will not tolerate acts of violence or threats of violence committed by or against employees or members of the public in town workspaces. So that's that's in the first paragraph. So that's more than just employees. We're not going to tolerate that behavior by anyone within our facility.
Yes, you are correct.
So, yeah, so it goes a little bit further than just employees on that respect. Interesting. Okay.
Yes, no, you are correct.
Yeah.
We have to, from the employer point of view, we have to anticipate how we protect our employees as well.
Absolutely. How does this get out how does this information get out to the public then? If it's if it's an internal policy, how does the public know that this is in place?
This is really the first part of the process. We don't want to be presumptuous. We want to go through the processes. we, like as part of the process moving forward, there's also a process where we have to notify our employee units, like in union units as well, to let them know we have the policy to provide them, like with the opportunity, to provide feedback or identify any issues. But again, we didn't want to, it's always a question of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. Do we begin with our employees first, or do we begin here first? But like from there, we will have a strategy to like get this out and to, and to disseminate to our employees, which we're required to do, especially from the union environment perspective, but then also with our board and committees and then the public as well. But again, this is really where, really where we're beginning the process.
Okay.
To make sure there's, to make sure there's the appropriate buy-in first.
Yeah.
Before going forward.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I had a couple of tiny comments, but I feel more comfortable that kind of the labor attorney was the one drafting this. I just thought a couple of places it would have been a little more prescriptive. So this next to last paragraph on the first page talks about, except for those employees who are engaged in official law enforcement activities. I would have thought that they'd say who are qualified law enforcement officers, or some, I saw that word in the actual
Yeah.
regulations.
Yeah, to
And
match
then
the
engaged in
definition.
official, just to try to be a little more restrictive there, and kind of the same at the first paragraph on the second page. And I'll leave these couple of comments with you. You can just review with the labor attorney, see what his
Okay,
thoughts
yep,
are.
happy to.
The second sentence of the first paragraph says, "Town police department personnel who carry weapons as part of his or her job." I would have thought, like, who are authorized to carry weapons.
Yep.
Just some little things like
Yep.
that.
That makes sense.
And I'll just leave these with you for after.
Okay.
So I don't think necessarily need any changes, but worth the conversation.
Okay, no, happy to do that.
Tightening it up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Again, are we looking for an approval on that?
Yes,
Yes?
please.
Okay.
I have another question, just real quick. This just applies to town employees, right? So if I saw in the email, came through that, for example, a firefighter is not an authorized employee, despite the fact that some of them might carry in some capacity or another for facets of their job, right? What would happen if a firefighter from the town of Sharon, same situation, came over, right? That this policy does not apply to them, correct?
Yeah.
Because they're not town employees.
Yeah, like I could work with Chief Kelleher to make, the prohibition by the law, whether you're in Foxborough or Sharon, the prohibition still exists. We just want to make sure that here our employment policies reflect the provisions of the law as well.
Understood. Okay, I follow you. Yep.
So this is specific to Foxborough, but it's a Massachusetts law.
Yes,
Right. Yeah, we're updating our policy to align with the Massachusetts law that already exists.
precisely.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I'll make a motion to approve, with or without the couple small comments.
No, thank you. I'll bring-
I'll leave that up to you, but make a motion to approve, regardless of those couple of comments.
I will second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
None opposed? All right.
The-
And
The only other piece of business I just wanted to ask, if it's okay, is just about scheduling a follow-up meeting. As everyone knows, we're in the FY '26 budget planning process. I would imagine in the next month or so, we would have the need to reconvene the board, to bring before the board the FY '26 non-union pay scales as well, for consideration and approval. I just wanted to see if we have the ability to set a date and plan on it at this point. And just really broadly, in the 3.5 weeks I've been here already in the town, just to try to anticipate future issues. We are also at the beginning of taking like a more holistic view of what we have in our personnel policies as well. Really to check for like alignment and to analyze whether we have any policies that like are outdated or need updating as well. And as we go forward with those efforts, obviously, anything that we would contemplate or propose, we would bring it back first to this board. So those are kind of, I'm trying to walk before I run here, but those are kind of the areas that we're already thinking about, just to kind of tee up for the board in advance.
Okay, so we'll plan to
Yeah,
schedule
when-
something in
Yeah,
about a month?
do you have a
Yeah,
date
do you
that
have-
you're looking for, or?
You know when it needs to be approved, the budget needs to be approved, so if we work backwards,
Katie, when typically, we want to get ahead and be early in the process, but,
not too early that you don't have the work done, right?
Yeah. I mean, what about April 15th? At the same time?
Is that before April break?
yes.
Yes, April break should be the 21st.
I think it should be okay for me.
I have it open on my calendar as well.
I think that works.
April 15th is fine for me.
All right, that's great. I'll send a follow-up just to review. But would we like to make a nomination of who should be chair?
Yeah, I was thinking of that on the walk in. I was like, I'm not sure we have one right now.
We had an acting chair tonight.
Yeah, hey, I'm good with keeping that going.
I was voluntold to be chair. It's just like being at home.
Yeah, I'll make a nomination of Scott. Be the chair.
Okay.
Do we want to do that
Anyone
now?
want a second?
So, yeah, I'll second Scott being chair.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support.
Hey,
Both of you.
I think you do
Both
a
of you.
wonderful job.
You did a great
You
job.
did a great
Here
job.
for you.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
So all those in favor, I guess.
Aye.
You're not gonna oppose it. It doesn't matter.
We won't let you oppose it. We beat
Yeah.
you two out of three anyway.
Yeah, right.
All right, great.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
Okay.
Third is,
Awesome.
okay.